India's pace spearhead Mohammad Shami on Monday received the biggest compliment in his two-year international career. As one of the greatest fast bowlers of all time, Sir Richard Hadlee termed the young seamer's efforts in the ICC Cricket World Cup particularly impressive. New Zealand's greatest cricketing icon said that the Indian bowling unit's turnaround after the disastrous Test and Tri-Series show has been very impressive. Like a true blue-black cap supporter, Hadlee's vote for the best fast bowling unit went to his countrymen Team Saudi, Trent Boult and Daniel Vettori. Hadlee, who played 86 Tests and 115 ODIs for New Zealand during his international career of close to 2 decades, showered accolades on current captain Brendan McCullum, saying that he never got a chance to play under a captain as aggressive as the explosive right-hander. But he also added that there is a flip side to being aggressive. Hadlee didn't agree with the notion that New Zealand will be exposed if they play on big Australian grounds after having won their matches at the smaller venues in New Zealand. Although New Zealand have played in World Cup semi-finals on 6 occasions, they have never been able to reach the final. But Hadlee did have a word of caution for the Black Caps, as he feels that knockouts will be a different ball game altogether, and there may be a match where they would have to chase a score in excess of 300.
What do you reckon that half the tournament has gone over? Now, who is the favourite at this part of stage?
Well, the tournament I think has gone very well indeed, and there's been some excellent cricket. The fact that some teams are scoring over 400, means that it's a great batting spectacle, and bowlers as well have also got wickets, so it's been a good contest. I think at this stage of the tournament, it's shaping up as to probably 4 teams that have got a good chance of contesting the final. So that would be Australia, South Africa, New Zealand and India. Well, I think we'll throw India in there as well. They're playing particularly well at the moment. So no, it's looking good.
As one of the greatest fast bowlers of all time, what do you feel, what impressed you about the Indian bowling lineup so far?
Well, I think it has been impressive in this World Cup. I think if I reflect back, like most of you, when the team was in Australia, playing Australia, that pre-World Cup, India were not playing good cricket. Their batsmen were scoring some runs, but the bowlers weren't bowling particularly well. But now that they've sorted out their lines and their lengths, and the fielding has improved considerably, and the fact that batsmen are scoring runs, it makes India a very competitive side. And the fact too that they're defending champions, I think they'd like to make it back-to-back winners in the World Cup. So I think the attitude has changed considerably.
So Richard, what do you make out of the tournament, because it's been a stretch a little further, 45 days?
Well, I'm not too interested in how many days it is. What I'm interested in is that it is a format as it is, and the fact that you've got to play 6 pool games, and you've got to get enough wins, enough points to get into the knockout stage. That's what it's about. The real cricket will start in a week or so's time, and that's when every team's got to bring their A game, otherwise they'll be exiting the tournament. So, the real cricket is about to start.
So Richard, 1992 New Zealand did very well to reach the semi-finals, and this time round also they are doing really well. So do you think that this time round they can go at a distance, reach a step further?
Well, yeah, I mean in 92 we played well and got to the semi-final. In fact, I think we've reached the semi-finals now on 6 occasions. So it would be nice to go at least a step further and make the final, and possibly go on to win it. But I think if we look at the New Zealand team at the moment, the fact they've won 5 games on the trot, they're the only team to bowl all their opposition out and get 10 wickets, so they've got 50 wickets in the tournament to date. The bowlers have done their job. We've got some very good batsmen. Perhaps 1 or 2 of them are a little underdone in the sense they haven't had a lot of time at the crease. They are extremely well coached, magnificently led by Brendan McCullum as the captain, as an attacking batsman, and as a fielder. I mean, he sets the example. So we've got a team of cricketers who are determined to create New Zealand history.
So Hadlee, when you bowled against Sachin Tendulkar, he was almost a kid, but later on he went on to become the best batsman in the world. Do you feel it's there in Virat Kohli who can catch up Sachin Tendulkar?
Well, look, it's too early in his career. What's Virat, 23, 24, 25? Okay, look, Sachin fashioned a magnificent record during his career. Yes, I do remember bowling to him. He was about 16 or 17 at the time, and he got 80 against the New Zealand team at McLean Park in Napier. Look, there's no doubt that that Virat is a fantastic player at the moment, and over the next 10 years, I don't know whether he'll break any of Tendulkar's records, but clearly he will go down in Indian history and possibly world history as one of the great Indian players. When you look at Tendulkar and Dravid and these players, then he's going to be mentioned, I think, in that sort of category.
Was that one of the most unique games of cricket you've played?
It was a very unusual game of cricket, to say the least. A very enjoyable one because we won, and I didn't think we had won. But that's just another thing. Look, these sorts of novelty events have a purpose. and it was enjoyable for those that participated, and I'm sure the organisers are thrilled that so many people were here to experience Hobbiton because of the history and the movies that were created here, and it was good to be part of it.
Sir Richard, does it give you a lot of pride to see New Zealand winning with its bowlers as opposed to its batsmen in a game that's sort of so batsman oriented?
Well, our bowlers are clearly class bowlers, and the fact that Southee and Bolt complement each other with their different skill sets, with Southee being a right arm swing bowler, Bolt being a left arm swing bowler and moving the ball in both directions, I mean, is outstanding. They're at the top of their game at the moment, and I can stand here and say that the Bolt-Southee combination is the best ever bowling attack that we've had as a combination, and what are they, only 26, so they've got another 7 or 8 years to look forward to, and they'll fashion a very good record during their careers. But it's well complemented by the experience, the guile, the canniness of Daniel Vettori. The fact that he is conceding only 3.3 runs per over, he's got 12 wickets. He comes on at a crucial time, not only to stem the flow of runs, but to get wickets, and I think that's why we've been effective, for the bowlers have done their job.
People have been talking about that they need to bat first at least kind of once going through this tournament. Is that a necessity, do you think, going into the quarterfinals? Do you think they will be underdone if they don't bat first against Bangladesh?
Well, it helps to win the toss, so you give yourself a choice, and that's something that Brendan doesn't do very often. Yeah, I think that's a fair point. I think the big challenge for us is if we have to say chase 300, 350 or even 400. Other teams have had to do that. We haven't. So our middle and lower order has yet to be exposed in real pressure situations, even though the Australian one was tight, but that was a different sort of game. So we haven't had enough batsmen at the crease and probably runs on the board. So that'll be the challenge for them if and when they're faced with that situation.
So Richard, connected to that, you mentioned teams scoring very high totals. Also, the pitches in Australia have not really, behaved the way we would have expected Australian pitches to behave. Is the game getting away from the bowlers a little bit and becoming very, very batsman-centric, especially with the new bowlers as well?
Well, there's been a lot of high scores. There's no question about that. But they've got bigger bats these days to use. Miscues will go for 6 because there's smaller boundaries. So that's got to be taken into consideration. That's, you just got to come to terms with what it is. You can only play against the opposition on the conditions that you're confronted with, and whilst batsmen have scored hundreds, I think to date there's something like 23 hundreds, including a double century, but there's also bowlers that have got their bags of wickets. Southee's got a bag of 7, Bolt a bag of 5, Stark's got a bag of 6. I think Shami's picked up consistent wickets throughout, so bowlers are having a reasonable whack in this tournament, and so you could say that the contest is marginally in favour of the batsmen, but the bowlers can also benefit if they bowl well, and good bowlers will get wickets.
Sir Richard, midway through the tournament, who do you see as the semi-finals? Midway through the tournament, who do you see?
I'm sorry, I haven't heard the question.
Midway through the tournament, who do you see as the semi-finalists, and what would be the key for the teams ending up?
The semi-finalists, gosh, you've got to put your thinking cap on. I think you've got to look at the top 4, and that is Australia, South Africa. I think they will probably play each other. India, New Zealand, potentially. It's just hard to say. I think they are the favoured sides, but we have seen in this tournament some unusual results. And other teams like Pakistan are starting to hit their straps, so they could be competitive on a given day. Ireland, they may even qualify, so who knows.
Okay, just one.